And we're back. The Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Congrats to the Dodgers winning the World Series and are now the MLB champions. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. Also, as well, Inside Sports, Fantasy Football. Chris Sardieri and I dropped the latest episode that's already available to you on Inside Sports, Fantasy Football covering NFL Week 9. What's going on with the latest news and notes from the NFL? It's right there for you at Inside Sports Fantasy Football, wherever you get your podcasts. Also, as well, of course, want to go ahead and check out what we're doing today at Lakerholics.com. The guys are not really happy right now. Laker Tom, his Yankees choked. His Lakers suck today. Things aren't doing very good for Tom, but find out how he takes it out on his articles at Lakerholics.com. Also, as well, of course, go ahead and check out what they're doing today. Empire Jeff TV covering the Dodgers. Congrats to him. And he also, as well, the Lakers in 5. Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. Yo, congratulations to him. I believe he's a Dodgers fan as well. Of course, John McCalian channel. I believe he is a Dodgers fan as well. Congrats to all those guys. And of course, make sure you like and subscribe here in honor of the Dodgers winning or in honor of the Lakers losing. Doesn't matter. Just please like and subscribe to get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break podcast. And don't forget to subscribe. Become a subscriber today. It's just $2.99 a month. I don't give you those outlandish, big priced, heavy duty things that they don't deliver on. I give you value for your money. Not only badges, not only emojis, not only inside info, not only polls, not only interactive stuff, not only reviews and articles ahead of time. I try to go ahead and get you what you need right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. So just sign up today. It's in the description below. Right there. Become a member on YouTube with us today at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Well, the Lakers, the JJ Redick era has hit a speed bump, everyone, because we head into Cleveland today against the sizzling hot Cleveland Cavaliers. And from the get-go, from the tip, it was no match for the Lakers, unfortunately, because they never even came close to competing. They took a early lead, I think, at 5-2. And after that, it was all she wrote as Cleveland Cavaliers dominated on the inside, 42 points in the first quarter. And also, as well, 67 points in the second half for the Cleveland Cavaliers. The defense was absolutely abysmal. Transition defense was terrible. The bench for 3 quarters was absolutely horrific once again. And the starters looked beaten, looked battered, looked bruised. The defensive schemes around the perimeter were not good. Yeah, nothing seemed to work right. Guards getting caught often, in the back near the basket, down low with a center or a power forward. Yeah, nothing really looked right for the Lakers today. It was a mismatch from the very start as Cleveland destroyed the Lakers 134-110. It was never that close after the first quarter. So hopefully we could go ahead and finish off the rest of the road trip strong. We did say, Joe and I, 3-2 would be more likely scenario and a more reasonable scenario for the Lakers. So let's hope that we can go ahead and get going here, coming up here on the 1st in Toronto. But again, it's Gerald Glassford. I'm hoping the celebratory times for Joe Soro will allow him to stop on by our show before we head on out. John Costa, unfortunately, could not make it today, so I do apologize for that. Please go ahead and support his channels, Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. Let's go Dodgers. Yep, let's go Dodgers. Congratulations to all Dodgers fans out there. Congratulations to the Dodgers on becoming the World Series champion. Gregory Brown, great to have you here. I stopped watching since early last year. I won't watch this clown organization until Rob Braun is gone. Well, I can't blame you on Rob, but LeBron, I don't think they're getting rid of, whether you like it, I like it or not, you like it or not, I don't think they're getting LeBron anytime soon. I'm not going to be dishonest with you. But yeah, the feel good moment of the day, the crowd in Cleveland chanting for Bronny. He did come in the fourth quarter with the game out of reach. He did score his obligatory basket that made the crowd go wild. Yes, all feel good. Yes, that's great. They're terrific. But that doesn't help us Lakers fans, us real Lakers fans out that want the Lakers to win. So, yes, that was very disappointing indeed. But once again, congratulations to the Dodgers. Truly a magnificent come from behind performance, the largest comeback ever in a World Series clinching victory for the Dodgers, coming back from a 5-0 deficit to tie the game. Then Yankees got up one, but the Dodgers kept going at it, kept going at it, and kept going at it, gunning it out. Not the most exciting way to win based off of 2 sacrifice flies, but you know what? The Dodgers will take the championship indeed. Ohtani, you can see he was affected by the shoulder injury. Not really effective at all out there. Freddie Freeman, I believe he has been named the MVP, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, a great, great victory for the Los Angeles Dodgers. The highlight for Los Angeles sports right now is the Dodgers winning the World Championships in Yankee Stadium. I equate this personally, based off the history of the Dodgers and the Yankees. I equate this personally as if when, if we remember way back to the 80s, when the Lakers won on the Boston Garden, which was absolutely, and I've got to be honest with you guys, that was probably one of these, that and the COVID 2020 victory were the 2 most satisfying World Championships that I witnessed personally for the Lakers. But Sports Baby says, how does he play for the Lakers if he doesn't get a start on the G League team? Please tell me. Sports Baby, I know that there's some rumors out there on all these other Lakers fan sites and Facebook pages that he may not be starting, according to the coach of G League. I got to see it in action before, if JHS is down there, Armel Traore is down there, also as well, Maxwell Lewis is down there. I want to see first that they're not going to put him out there as a starter. So, but yeah, I understand that those comments were made out there. I don't know if that's going to be the call from Rob to the G League South Bay coach of the Lakers, if he's going to be actually doing that or not. But yes, I don't know. He's going to get plenty of time in the G League, Sports Baby. Whether he's coming off the bench or whether he's starting for them, he's going to get at least 25 minutes a game down there. And that's exactly what he needs. Daniel Barry, Sports Highlights. Yo! Welcome back, my friend. Truly great to have you here. Dodgers wins. I know you're a happy man. Dodgers are the world champions. Daniel Barry says the Lakers are next. And well, if they play like today, that's not. But let's hope they start playing like they did to start off the season with 3-0. Yes. MEZ, what happened to Max Muncy? I saw him earlier in the game. But did he get hurt? Maybe in the celebration? I'm not sure. I could go ahead and let me see if I can look it up on Twitter. But yes, if something happened to Max Muncy, I'm not aware of it, but I will look it up right now to see if there is, because they're, in that big celebration, people do often get hurt. So we'll see if that's the case. But otherwise, I believe he was Max Muncy out. Let me find out. Max Muncy. Yeah, he was. He last time I saw, he was part of that. Yeah. No, he's. I think he's okay. I think he's okay. He played the game. He finished off, I think, the game. So I think that's Max Muncy is alive and well. But it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. It is Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for listening. But if something happens to him, we'll go ahead and see what happens. I'll go ahead and report it. And I'll keep an eye out on it. But yes, we'll go ahead and find out what happened to Max Muncy, if anything. Right there for you. But it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. The Lakers, because he was 0-4 today, and he is a 163 overall in the World Series. So, yeah, he wasn't very effective. But they still won, despite what Max Muncy did. So, yes, The fifth inning was fire. Absolutely rough artist. What a great inning to see. Blue Magic says someone do a wellness check on Joe. I called Joe around 8:45, just before the ninth inning setup. So hopefully he is okay. He seemed on edge, but I told him to come on if he can, if he's able to. I'm not going to force him to. But yeah, John couldn't make it today, so if he can come on, that'd be greatly appreciated because he was with me during playback. And thank you again. Big shout out to Henry Hill and Laker Nick for joining me on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. It was a very disappointing effort today. Tell me, guys, your thoughts on what you saw today in Cleveland. A very disappointing effort. Offensively, the ball was not moving once again. Shots were not falling. Everything seemed to be like very difficult for the Lakers to go ahead and create shots. Cleveland played them very well defensively. And then, of course, on the defensive end, everything from transition defense to offensive rebounds, giving up the offensive rebounds to basically perimeter defense as well. It was very disappointing for the Lakers to see. Yeah, absolutely. Gregory Brown, I'm not gonna tell you differently. Rob has done a poor job. Right now, the Lakers are the absolute worst bench in the entire league. Statistically, even if it's not your opinion, it is statistically that they are the worst bench in the league. And before that fourth quarter, before Dalton Connect lit it up for 18 points in the fourth quarter, they had by far and away the least productive bench in the entire league. So, yeah, absolutely. Cleveland, Mia Sen Mia, yeah, I gave Cleveland some credit. If you did hear me correctly, which you didn't, obviously, I said that Cleveland played good defense today. So, yes, I did give them credit that they played really good. And, of course, the way they shot the ball as well, they shot the lights out from three, and also didn't help that the Lakers were very poor on the defensive end as well. So that gave Cleveland a lot of open looks, and give credit to where it's due. Cleveland knocked it down. A lot of open shots creates a lot of open looks. There you go. Absolutely. And they shot 41% for the field, 57% overall. So I did give Cleveland credits, Mia San Mia. But again, it was a very poor effort by the Lakers. And I think really when it comes down to it for us, as far as Lakers fans, Cleveland is playing at an all-time high right now without LeBron. They're playing really good as a unit. I think they've serving notice to the rest of the league. But the Lakers really just came with a terrible effort today on both ends of the floor. And that was also a major reason why that they lost today. Joe Ingles says, hey, Joe, don't forget we got the worst backcourt in the league. I don't know if it's the worst backcourt in the league, Joe. I would disagree with you on that, but it certainly doesn't help when you have D'Lo back there not giving you any defensive effort at all. And Austin Reeves, again, so much is on his plate. He is a guy that was undrafted, and his talent can only take him so far. And today it showed. Max Christie, he was ineffective once again. Dalton Connect in that first half was ineffective himself. I'm going to say it just like it is. Dalton Connect only got the 18 points in garbage time. Again, when it comes to Max Christie, they put him on Derek Garland, and Garland just destroyed him and absolutely made him look terrible. Of course, Garland made everybody look terrible. Whether it was D'Lo, whether it was Christie, whether it was Gabe Vincent, all those guys looked really bad. And the Lakers, it just shows the Lakers are going to have a real problem guarding any of those quick guards out in the league. I'm worried what will happen in Memphis when they try to guard, of course, John Morant here in just a couple of days. Gregory Brown says the Lakers not winning a championship. D'Lo, Reeves as your backcourt. Yeah, that's what we've been saying now for quite some time, Gregory. Yes, again, you have D'Lo, who is absolutely terrible on defense, especially in the playoffs. Reeves is a very limited player. I think he needs to be coming off the bench. I think he's a very good sixth man. He would be an excellent sixth man for a playoff team like the Lakers, if that would be the case, but they just don't have any talent to move in their stead. They're obviously not going to give the rookie Dalton Connect enough of a chance yet, or enough belief in him to put him in that starting spot as of yet. So Sports Base says, what the hell is going to want Gab? Okay. Joe Ingles says that's what exactly I'm saying. D'Lo's and Ribs can't win as champions. I've been saying this for months, guys. Check out our shows. We've been saying this for months. We get you. Yes, they've already had their 2 opportunities 2 years straight, and the fact that they get singled out on defense, the effort was there in the postseason for Austin Reeves, but D'Lo is just such a liability on the defensive end. You can see it's just not pretty when it goes out there. They will single him out. They will target him time and time again. And it looks like his defense has even got worse this season so far. Gregory Brown, it's the same team from last year that's in the plan. Lost in round one of the playoffs. What are we expecting different? I'm not Gregory. If you again, you sound like you're new here, and I appreciate you joining us. Absolutely. I was among our entire panel. I think the highest pick for the Lakers was 6th. Most people picked the Lakers 8th, 9th. I picked the Lakers 9th, and I think some others picked them even lower than that. So yes, I think Stone picked them lower. I think that he picked them 11th, if memory serves. But yes, so we're not thinking that the Lakers were coming into the season going to change or rock the world. I think that 3-0 start at home got people kind of really jazzed about what JJ was doing. But yes, the first 2 games of this road trip have not gone the way that a lot of people had hoped. We had said it would be tough games coming into this road trip. Joe and I both said that they would be most likely 3-2 and that they would probably have a hard time at Phoenix and at Cleveland. But the back end, the key game should be Memphis. They should win the next 2 games, and then Memphis will be coming on after that. That's the one I worry about the most. Adam Hurley says it's going to get worse if we add Koloku. He can't score, doesn't rebound for a 7-footer. But again, we'll see what happens. He just got cleared by the NBA today, Adam. He is still just ramping up. He's going to be in the G League for a little while until he's able to go ahead and get into NBA shape, but also as well be able to make sure that he can provide a contribution. Even then, right away, I'm not sure how much the team will actually lean into him on the roster, on the rotation. Joe says, I'm upset why Rob did not trade D'Lo. This trash ain't working. He's getting worse, Gerald. Yes, we can all see that. His defense, he doesn't even put up an effort, which is a very strange because, as we all know, when these guys are in their contract year and the money's ready to be out there for them as a free agent, they have a tendency to play their best ball on the year before they sign those fat contracts. And it's working the other way around. D'Angelo Russell is looking worse and worse and worse. And that money, even though it's early, it's only 5 games in, it's starting to float away and away and away. Yes, congrats, Cole Bro. You are a Dodgers fan. Dodgers win the World Series and are now the Major League Baseball champions. Congratulations to them. They win the series over New York 4-1. But it is, of course, Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for watching. Truly appreciate you joining us. I am here for you, Lakers fans, regardless. Truly appreciate you joining me for the post game. It is the Lakers, unfortunately, getting their butts kicked 134-110. Anthony Davis did get hurt during the game on his hip, but he says it's not going to keep him out of Toronto. 22 points, 13 rebounds. Of course, LeBron James coming back home to Cleveland, 26 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. But the key factor is also as well the fact that they shot 21% from 3, 20 turnovers on the day. Absolutely abysmal. And again, through 3 quarters, you see the totals for the bench and you're saying to yourself, oh, well, they scored over 30 points from the bench. Most of that was in the 4th quarter. For the most part, it was just absolutely abysmal performance in the first half and the 3rd quarter for the bench. Max Christie, 1 of 6. Gabe Vincent, 2 of 5. Yeah, very disappointing. And of course, Bronny James got his obligatory 2 points. He was only a -2, by the way, if anybody's asking. Dalton Connect got his 18 points, but as Doobie has already coined him, he's the garbage time king until he proves himself otherwise. Cool Bro Freddie Freeland has over 1 million followers on Instagram. That's great. Lakers Fast Break should have over 1 million followers on Instagram. That would be even better. Adam says it was shown through when our starters were up 26-8 against the Suns that our bench came in and blew everything, that our bench is more of a problem. Well, Adam, the numbers speak for themselves. Coming into today's game, the Lakers were the absolute worst bench scoring team. And that, a lot of that, Max coming in as your sixth man, really not helping out. Gabe Vincent, he seems very hesitant on his shots, seems to get like 3 to 5 points and says, you know what, I'm good. I'm good. That's all I need to do. Jackson Hayes, if he's not being set up for plays on the pick and roll, it's hard to see where he has value because on the defensive end, he is absolutely atrocious. And then, of course, Dalton Connect, I'm not going to leave him out. He struggled. He got a donut in that last game when he was given people say, well, he was given fair opportunities, given fair share of minutes over 10 minutes. He's got to be in a rhythm because you see what happens when he finally gets in a rhythm. He got this 18 points tonight, but yeah, I think also as well the fact he just hasn't been able to get it done, but he's a rookie. A lot of teams don't usually rely on rookies for much. I think the Lakers are going to have to start putting some pressure on Dalton Connect to produce those kind of shots, those kind of quarters a little bit earlier in the ball game, because I think that's again what we need. We need a guy coming off the bench that can light it up. And right now, the Lakers have only one individual that can do that, and that is Dalton Connect. But we need him to do it not in garbage time. We need to do it when it matters. All right. Joe Engel says, Gerald, the reason why we got worse is because Rob Pelinka's scared to make some trades and improve this team. He has to go. We've been saying this, Joe, for months. You're catching up to us now. I do over 300 shows a year. So yes, this has been a major source of conversation for Joe and I over the summer, that his lack of doing anything is part of the reason why this bench is so bad. Problem is, he backed himself into a corner financially with some stupid contract signings, like he gave Reddish that extra year as an option. He gave Wood that extra year as an option. He gave Hayes that extra year as an option. So that ties up as far as some money you could have put and allocated somewhere else to possibly better players. Who was bidding for Max Christie as far as giving him $32 million? Who are you bidding against on that? You should have just offered him a 4-year deal for $8 million or $10 million, something really worth what he is valued at right now, because that's what he's playing at level right now. That's something that Joe, myself, I said he might develop into a roster player sometime down the road, but it certainly wasn't now. And it's obviously looking the fact that he's not going to be able to help you right away. Joe, of course, John, Stone, those guys, they all think that Max is not even an NBA player. I disagree. I think he is an NBA player, but I think he's someone that's not going to develop into a rotation player that you can trust until he's probably exited from this team at some point in time. But we'll see. Again, he is only 21, so he's younger than Dalton Connect. Dalton Connect is just learning his way in the league, even though he's an older rookie. So yeah, a lot of things, again, a lot of fingers to start pointing at, but a lot of it has to do with that front office. And that's something we've talked about time and time again. Mia San Mia, garbage time, Bronny. I would have never even played him in the first place, Mia, because he's not an NBA player. Now you've got so many dead spots with players who just are not able to give you a contribution. Cam Reddish, I don't know. Offensively, he is just absolutely abysmal. Did you see his drive where he shot a 1-footer 2 feet short? It was absolutely just embarrassing to watch. He is terrible on his drives. Then you have also as well Jackson Hayes, who again, if he's not running a pick and roll defensively, it's a real problem for the Lakers. Gabe Vincent, you spent $10 million plus on that guy, and he averages like 3 to 5 points a game. You've got Vando, who's continuously hurt, yet you committed 4 years for him. Absolutely all these dead spaces on the roster, not to mention Maxwell Lewis, who is a bad draft choice, not to mention JHS, who is a bad draft choice, not to mention Bronny James, who is a bad draft choice. all these dead spots on your roster, the finger should point in one direction to the front office on that one. But yes, this is what happens when you're so reliant on your starting lineup. They have to be at their optimal performance level, because if they're not, there's no one on the bench right now that can consistently, and that includes Connect, that can consistently help them when they need them. I'm not a Bronny hater. I'm a Bronny realist, Guillermo. It's the difference. Bronny is not an NBA player. You know this. You have seen this. It's not a hater. I'm happy for the kid that he's come back from a serious health issue and a health scare, but he is not an NBA player. You and I both know this. If his name was John, or if his name was Joe Soro, for instance, and he played like he's played all summer long, preseason, and now, you would say to get this guy to the G League and fast and hurried. And that's where he's going to go after the road trip's over. And he's going to take a lot of time to develop. And I don't know if he'll ever become a consistent NBA player because he can't shoot. He's not as defending as well as you hoped. And he's too small right now. But then again, we said a lot of these things about Scottie Pippen Jr. And look at him. He's developed into a worthwhile player on Memphis. So let's hope we're wrong about Bronny James. But right now, he does not look like an NBA player. Bronny, G League, any 55th pick. Dante, almost any. Remember Wiggins. Wiggins in Oklahoma City, who is now at times starting for the Oklahoma City Thunder, was a 55th pick. He is the only one in the past 10 years of the 55 picks at 55 to get and earn a second contract. So yes, it's a 90% failure rate for anyone they pick. So could have been Bronny, could have been anyone. The failure rate for anyone at that level, or not the failure rate, but the rate as far as them not making a consistent effort or consistent availability or consistent just level of performance at an NBA level, the odds are not in their favor. What's up, Dante? What's going on? Bad drafting, Gregory? Yeah, bad drafting, a bad contract for Christie. I don't know. Again, who are they bidding against to sign Christie that kind of contract, to commit that kind of money on a guy when you're so close to the cap? You have no flexibility. You cannot get when you make a trade, you cannot trade $1 over than what you're trading out. And you put yourself in that situation. CB, there you go. All right, have a good one. Get trolls out of here. Well, again, JSJ, they have their opinion. Again, because his last name is James, there's always going to be a section of the audience that sees this in a certain fashion. The fact that the kid was just not good I wish he would have stayed in college. I really wish he would. Eric Musselman is a really good coach. I've always liked what he's done. I think he would have really helped Bronny and made him possibly into a much better player. But we'll never know. So he's a terrible 5-point player, 5-point a game player that shot 20% or thereabouts from the 3-point area on the college 3-point line. So what are you expecting from me? If it's anybody else out there that wasn't named Bronny James and somebody with those kind of stats, with those kind of showcase ability, would you even draft him? No. We all know why he was drafted. He was drafted because he's LeBron's son, and they got the feel-good moment. This is the part two of the feel-good moment. He got his moment when the sun with dad. He got his Cleveland moment under the sun with, out there. Good. All right. Happy for him. I'm happy that he's healthy and able to play basketball. So I'm not a Bronny hater. I'm just a realist in understanding the fact that Bronny at this point is not an NBA player. But then again, Maxwell Lewis is not an NBA player. JHS is not an NBA player. These guys are not effective NBA players that can help your team win. And with that said, you've got a lot of roster spots filled up with guys that just are not contributing in a positive manner to your team. And that's the problem. That is absolutely the problem. So again, well, these are things that we're talking about. It is, of course, the Lakers fast break. It is Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Congrats to the Dodgers for winning 7-6. They win the World Series 4-1. Cleveland did defeat the Lakers 134-110. Now, again, we did say, Joe and I, that they would be 3-2. We were predicting 3-2 in the road trip. So if they win the next 3 games, they come back home 6-2. I will take that every time. If they come back on the road, from the road, 6-2, those things will still look very good for the Lakers, and things will still look very good for you guys out there. Brian Green says, doesn't Bronny have more time to grow as a basketball player in the G League and then in college? College has class requirements. The G League is B-ball 24/7. How many class requirements do these guys actually play? You would have to talk how some of these athletes are not as serious as some other student athletes out there. So again, I would. It is USC as well. I mean, as someone who attended USC, you could take it for what it's worth out there. USC has done favorable things for their athletes before, so I'll just leave it at that. But Bag of Dragon, what's up, my friend on Twitch? How you doing? Great to have you here. Worst Jen, love the show and ready for my first season with you guys. Let's listen to Gerald. Thank you, Worst Jen. Glad to have you here. Hope you get a chance to subscribe. Truly appreciate it. Again, I'm not trying to hate. I'm just trying to tell you how it is. It's not just Bronny. Bronny, again, when Doobie and I are having an argument who is playing worse or who is the worst player, Bronny, JHS, or Maxwell Lewis. Well, actually, we came to agreement Maxwell Lewis was the worst. So maybe Bronny is better than Maxwell Lewis at this point in time. So, and he scored 2 points, so that's 2 more points than JHS and Maxwell Lewis. So we can technically say that Bronny is better than JHS or Maxwell Lewis, right? Because they're in the G League right now and he isn't. So, but he'll be joining them soon in the G League. We'll go from there. Robert, what's up, my friend? You always ask great questions, Robert. Truly appreciate it. Do you think the Cavs had advantage the regular season over majority of teams in the league since most teams don't play 2 bigs in starting lineup? I think they do. You've seen in the playoffs, the Cavs have. How does Allen? Allen says he remember he said he got frightened by the big lights. Mitchell is a primetime player. He is a playoff player. We've seen him score 50 points plus in playoff games. The rest of the guys, Mobley and Allen, again, we'll have to see how well they play when the money counts. Garland, is he going to stay healthy? Garland looked like an all-star today against the Lakers. He really befuddled the Lakers with his speed and with his quickness and the fact that they were always hitting on their shots. I have to give the credit. Again, when you're shooting up 40+% from the three-point line and you're chucking up 3 after 3 after 3 and you're hitting them, got to give credit to Cleveland for hitting those shots. But again, the Lakers not being able to defend on the perimeter. And then at other times, they got on switches. I don't know. This is something where JJ has in his defense has to tweak where he gets caught with a guard. His defense gets caught with a guard down low with a post up player. In this case, Mobley or Allen. Mobley and Allen got both at times got caught with a guard down low, which gives them an easy opportunity for a basket. So yeah, but the choice is okay. Well, let them shoot from the outside. Well, they took 41 threes, Cleveland did, and shot 41% from the field, and that's going to get it done more times than not. But once again, it is the Lakers fast break. The Lakers only making 6 threes. That's not going to help you either. You have to make more than 6 threes in a game as well. I mean, there's just so many things you can point out what went wrong today. Just a bad performance overall. Hopefully they could just shake it off, go into Toronto. Looks like Scotty Barnes is going to be out, I think 2-3 weeks. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 2-3 weeks he's going to be out was the last I heard. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, what's up going on? Worst GM, Rob Pelinka. Preaching to the choir. New subscriber here, Gerald. Rob Pelinka is the worst GM. Fire him. You know what? I couldn't agree with you more. I know that a lot of people looking at the Golden State GM as the next X hire. I would keep your eyes, and I've said this before, and I know some of you guys already know what I'm going to say, but I would keep your eye on what's going on in Minnesota. Yes, I know Bob, he's on ESPN, might strike twice while the iron's hot with ESPN guys coming over to run your team, but just know Tim Conley is surveying in Minnesota, surveying that landscape as far as how this ownership thing is working out. And so hear me out on this. He is a free agent. He made himself a free agent. He only took a 1-year deal for another year as a GM because he wanted to see how this ownership thing is playing out. If he does not like what he sees, he's going to be jetting out there. And who created the Denver and the Minnesota teams? It was Tim Conley. So would I like Bob Myers, or Tim Conley? Why don't you come? That's a good question, Bloodhound. I think it depends. Remember with Bob Myers, I mean, Steve Kerr came in. He got Steve Kerr. That was already like a transition with Mark Jackson's team. They were already a 50-win team. The Lakers will probably be in some sort of transition because AD is now 31, going on 32. LeBron is going 40. I don't know. Tim Conley has a recent history of success, and so does Bob Myers. I don't think you'll lose either which way. I think they are both substantial upgrades over what we have in Rob Pelinka. But whatever happens, Rob Pelinka does not leave. If Rob Pelinka leaves tomorrow, he does not leave whoever's succeeding him with a whole lot in the cupboard to work with, because we're backed up against the second tax apron. We only have 2 first-round draft picks we can bundle together. That's the problem. So let's say we want to make a trade. We have the 2 first-rounders. We have D'Angelo, his $18 million expiring. You could throw in Vando, but that Vando's got 4 years left on his contract. And if Vando is always getting hurt, he's not the most desirable individual. Plus, he's a great defender, but he would need to be going to a team that wants defense on their team, because he's still very challenged. And then you have Gabe Vincent, who's now the second year of a 3rd-year contract for him. Maybe Gabe Vincent, D'Angelo Russell, and the 2 draft picks will give you something. But if there's someone big out there, or if there's a package that could really help a team, I mean, OKC, New Orleans, Houston, just off the top of my head, Golden State, they could all offer more players, better players, and more options for teams to make a trade with than the Lakers. And that's another problem as well. So whoever takes over for Rob, in case that inevitable happens, which hoping it does, because Rob is absolutely terrible. Yes, I would probably say it's probably in our best interest to go ahead and switch to one of those guys. But the team is not really okay. Really looking good as far as a number of assets in the bank. Mia says this team is looking sluggish and uninspired. Today, you were exactly right. I'm not going to say differently. They did look sluggish. They did look uninspired. I mean, it's only the second road game of the season, and they look like they were already spent. Could that be a possibility? Possibly because the Lakers have spent so many minutes with the guys that they're out there. Their starting lineup, they're so reliant on them to play so many minutes already this early in the season. Could be right. Could be absolutely right. Xbox, what's up? Thank you for the emojis out there. You guys could get emojis too for $2.99 a month. Got a ton of emojis waiting for you if you become a member today. Or just even like and subscribe. Anything you do helps us out right here at the Lakers Fast Break. It is me, Gerald Glassford. John Costa could make it, so I apologize for that. So I'm covering for his channels, Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. Joe Soro said he might be here, although he might be having one hell of a good time. He might be screaming out in the backyard somewhere in Temecula right now. Or he might be diving into his hot tub with a cigar, with a good shot of tequila or something like that. Maybe some hard whiskey. I don't know. He's probably drinking something right now. So it's always good to get Drunk Joe in here. We got Drunk Joe in here once, and that was absolutely worth it. If you want to look that one up, that was a great episode. Bloodhound says Jeannie is good at marketing, team building, not so much. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Marketing is what she was brought up on. You know, how many teams did she run as far as the other sports teams, from the team tennis to some of the other odds and ends that Dr. Buss gave to her to do. Yeah, that's where she was mainly brought up, was marketing end of it. but actually getting the right pieces in place. I mean, she's had more non-playoff since she's become governor. She has had more non-playoff seasons than playoff seasons, and I hope that changes because I don't think she is going to sell the team anytime soon. JSJ said Joe is drunk right now. I would put that at a very strong yes on that, JSJ. Mia Mia says, I still smoke my cigar with the Yankees or without. There you go. Well, congratulations. Smoke that cigar. There you go. Yankees had a great season. Got to give them props. You know, they and should not anyway slouch the 94 wins that they got. They just got beat by the better team. Dodgers kept at it. They were, I mean, when you win constantly in this recent years, 95, 100, 105, 110 games year after year after year, you're just put yourself on the doorstep. And that's what they've done. They've done a great job of continually putting themselves in a position to at least get to the playoffs. And then, of course, we've seen sometimes the playoffs are so quick, especially in those early rounds, anything can happen. And they got out of that, and they got the San Diego series was very tough for them, and then they were able to go ahead and get the job done. Absolutely, the Mets, they took care of the Mets. They took care of New York, all with one swing of the bat right there for you. Hey, Law Malcolm, how you doing? Great to have you here. All these new faces from these new places. Great to have you here. It is Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this thing. If you like what you see with me or with any one of the shows that I have, whether it's the Lakerholics, whether Alfred Esmond, the legend, come by, whether it's Joe Soro always here, whether it's John Costa doing his thing, all of the great guys that are here, go ahead and like what you see. Please like and subscribe. It really helps us out right here at the Lakers Fast Break. But Law Malcolm says Magic and Kobe, the real Lakers, LeBum is he'll never, no matter how many championships he's win, there are just some guys out there, and you know, that's up to you because he played most of his career in Cleveland. You guys are, there's nothing he can do that will allow him, in your opinion, to be a Laker. He'll at the end of his career, he probably would have played 8, 9 seasons for the Lakers, and it doesn't matter. He's, to some guys, he will just never be a Laker, and I'm not going to argue off that. I'm not going to argue against that because when it comes to LeBron, anything is just an argument that just takes you down to a rabbit hole. And yeah, it's whether you think he's the greatest, whether you think he's not the greatest, where you know, where do you have him? I know somebody got mad at Joe the other day because he put Bird ahead of LeBron. So you just can't win. You just can't win when it comes to LeBron James. Again, I think he's one of the greatest players of all time. I mean, if you asked to draw up a what would be a perfect basketball player would look like, a lot of the attributes you would say would be similar to what LeBron James is, in my opinion. But be that as it may, you know, I know that defending LeBron James, it's hard sometimes with his passive aggressiveness and the you know the hourglass, the wearing the New York Knicks stuff. You know, that stuff is hard to defend because it's frustrating because you know he's done things that has hurt the team. The Russell Westbrook trade, you know, he obviously him you know, his influence into that's the worst trade in Lakers history. So yeah, absolutely. Just some things. It is what it is. Okay, LeBron, he just cannot do anything right in people's eyes, and I'm not going to defend it. I'm not going to defend anymore. You guys feel how you feel, and I respect your opinion on that. I'm just glad you're here watching us, and just asking you guys to be civil. Whether you guys disagree or agree with each other, just asking each other to be civil. Just enjoy the show. Whether I'm insulting Joe, Joe's insulting me, Henry Hill comes on, Jamie Sweet comes on, or somebody else comes on, we're just glad to have you here right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Mia says Cavs are looking like a pesky team again that could do damage. Yeah, they look real good right now. Again, that starting lineup, with Dean Wade is hitting shots like he did tonight, I mean, that's the one part of their starting lineup that's been a problem, is that other forward position. And if he could provide some stability for them in that spot, that's a great sign for Cleveland. And if they could stay healthy, obviously that's a great sign for Cleveland. But they're also very similar to the Lakers. Is How far is the rest of their unit going to be able to provide support for them? Tonight they did. Everybody was hitting shots. Levert, you know, Ty Jerome even was hitting shots when he came off the bench. Yeah, a ton of players were hitting tonight, and everything looks good now. But whether it's Niang, Okoro now coming off the bench, again Levert, Merrill. How good are those guys going down the road? That's going to be the key because Cleveland has never just been able to stay healthy, all of them, for an extended period of time. So we'll see what happens. If they can, they're obviously going to provide some problems. Are they as good as Boston? I don't even think the way that they're playing now, they're as good as Boston. It's really hard for me to think now that I've seen Boston after 4 games. And I hate to say this because I cannot stand Boston. But yeah, they're really tough to beat right now. The Cleveland Cavaliers and Boston Celtics are really tough to beat right now. We need some reinforcement. I'm concerned with our bench. One of the worst GM. It is the worst statistically. Coming into today's game, it was the worst bench statistically in the NBA. So yes, absolutely, it's been a problem for the Lakers, and I think with what you have out there, obviously getting more players involved, but again, you're stuck against the second tax apron, so you're limited to what you can do. I think the first thing you got to do is bring Dalton off the bench. He's the only one of your players back there that can score you any kind of points if he gets going. And with that said, I think that he is probably the option that you should have coming first off the bench. I think I tweaked that. If that doesn't work for you, then you're really screwed because your bench is not giving you anything at this point in time. And people are saying, oh, yeah, can't wait till Christian Wood or Vando gets back. Vando doesn't give you offense. Great defensive player, but he doesn't give you anything offensively. So I don't know how that improves as far as the offense is concerned. And then with Christian Wood, if it was the Christian Wood from last year, obviously that leaves a lot to be desired. If it's the Wood from 3 years ago or 3 seasons ago, that might be a different story. Schroeder's killing it. Schroeder's killing it right now in Brooklyn. But then again, on a team like that where both him and Thomas got the green light, they're looking good right now. So Schroeder will probably go in a trade somewhere, rough artist. I just don't know where as of yet. Giddy, Xbox, always looking at your boy in Australia. He's playing well. He's just got to shoot. Remember, it's all about the shooting with him. Bag and Dragon on Twitch says the Pelicans are looking like a team not even making the play-in right now. They have come out disappointing. I think it's a team mismatched. Again, they've got to do something sooner rather than later about maybe moving CJ McCollum, maybe moving Brandon Ingram. That they've got to do something about that. They look like they're a team in disarray. I think the Trey Murphy, the third, that injury was more damaging to them than a lot of people realize because he is a good player. He is a future, I don't want to say star, but I think he's a really good player with all the different things as a wing. He's a taller wing. He can shoot. He's athletic. Yeah, he is really good. And that's, obviously they're feeling it. And the fact that they have not much of a center position to speak of in New Orleans is probably hurting them as well. Ben Simmons is available. I don't think Ben Simmons, Bloodhound. Let me ask you this, Bloodhound. Ben Simmons, I think he is safe on the Brooklyn roster because he has got $40 million left on his contract. That's $40 million coming off your books. First of all, if you try to trade for Ben Simmons, a 5-point-a-game player, because he was averaging 5 points. I looked this up the other day. He's averaging 5 points a game. He's going to be a defender mainly for you for whatever team he goes to. It's a $40 million player earning, getting you 5 points a game, of reluctant to shoot, terrible at the free throw line. He does rebound, he does defend, but again, he is $40 million. And I don't know, you're going to have to give up a lot. Amazingly enough, as how that sounds, to get Brooklyn to get rid of that $40 million that's coming off their books, because they will be, if they keep Ben Simmons, they will have more money for free agency next summer. Brian said, would I take Ben Simmons with picks? Yeah, I would take him with picks, Brian. But really, if you're Brooklyn, if you're running Brooklyn, Brian, would you get rid of $40 million coming off your books? Really? When you know your team is going to be bad already because they already are playing in tank mode already? I don't know. I honestly don't. I would not. If I was in Brooklyn, I would not trade Ben Simmons unless you threw me a great offer. And who's going to do that for a 5 point a game player? Bloodhound says Ben Simmons out of the NBA after the season. He'll be in Europe or Taiwan. I have a feeling somebody will give him a chance, Bloodhound, before he leaves. I really think they will, maybe on a minimum or maybe something slightly bigger than that. Seeing if they can go ahead and work it out, maybe on a 1 year deal. But yeah, I think somebody else will give him a chance unless he gets a sweet deal from overseas. Sorry, Xbox, don't cover your ears in the Australian League or the European League. If somebody gives him a big number. I mean, Brian, you got to. It's all money. It's all about the logistics. It's all about the money. I mean, I don't want to deter any of you in your enthusiasm when you guys talk about let's trade D'Lo, let's trade this, let's trade that. You got to look at it when I think about these things and I look at these things. I look at it from the perspective of the other GM. It's like, okay, I'm Rob. I'm calling. Hey, I've got this, 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 and this. What can I get? And I'm like, and would I really want that? Do I really want that? Why should I really want that? And is there somebody else there that can give me more for this player that you want? So and again, it's just I'm just when I look at it that I'm just trying to keep it real, just trying to keep it from that perspective. As much as I want them to make the change, I do. The Lakers need to make a change. They need to go ahead and improve the bench. They need some type of infusion because they had one of the worst benches in the league last year, and now they're one of the worst benches in the league this year. Well, they are the worst bench in the league this year. So they do need something. And I don't think Dalton Connect by himself is that answer. So yes, they do need something more. Bando, defender, but can he help you offensively? I don't. He's never been known to do that, and I don't know if it'll start now. Christian Wood, again, Christian Wood has to play like the guy 3 seasons ago that averaged a double double for Houston, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, if that's the guy that you get back coming back from injury, a second knee surgery in a few months. It was arthro, mind you, but it's still knee surgery. Yeah, it's still yeah. I mean, it's how you set up your team for success. And Rob, it deserves a lot of blame for setting up this team for a lot of issues and problems on how it can improve himself. There's a reason why they had to stand pat is because what the Lakers have to offer, not a whole lot of people are interested in right now. And that's part of the problem right there. Unless we're willing to take on bad contracts, but that puts us into the second tax apron. And I think Genie has already told or given the message from the inference I've got from him being at the second tax apron, but not over it. I think the inference from Genie is do not get me into that second tax apron. You will hurt the franchise going forward. Because once you're in that second tax apron, guys, you better be damn sure you have a team that's going to compete for a world championship. Because if you don't, you get your, I think you get draft picks moved back to the end of the first round. You may eventually lose your first round draft picks, not to mention the tens to hundreds of millions of dollars that you will have to pay in taxes. Yeah, and the fact that you are limited, you can't get buyout players. You're limited on who you can trade for. Yeah, it is that bad when you go into the second tax apron. That's why you need to make sure you have a team ready to win. Brian, worse, I'll get you in a second. Brian says, who has bad contracts that would get us picks? I don't know. It would be someone on a winning team that has a really bad contract because Portland has some bad contracts, but they're not winning. Chicago, Atlanta, but their Clint Capella is coming. He's coming off the books. They like Trae Young. Trae Young's been playing unreal at the start of the season, so I don't know. I don't think that would be him. DeAndre Hunter would be the only one from Atlanta I know that is a contract that still has years on it that is not exactly favorable because they want to put Ricochet in there. That may be it. But yeah, it has to be on someone on a winning team that has a really bad contract. We'll see. Milwaukee, if they continue this downturn, keep an eye on them. Keep an eye on them. Keep an eye on Giannis. That's all I'll say from there. Let me go ahead and get that worst GM. Gerald, how about this trade? D'Lo gave first and a couple of second-round picks for Dennis DFS. Brooklyn would take that. Brooklyn would take that because they're all about getting picks at this point in time. But Dennis, if he was so great, why did you keep him in the first place? Remember, he's averaging 26 points on one of the worst teams in the NBA. Dorian Finney-Smith, he is, man, he showed so much promise earlier in his career, and I don't want to say it's gone astray. He is still starting for Brooklyn, and he's being showcased along with Cam Johnson. Those guys, Cam Johnson, DFS, Dennis Schroeder, those guys are all being showcased for trades. That's why you're still seeing Jordan Clarkson on Utah starting. You're still seeing Colin Sexton. He's playing significant minutes for Utah is because John Collins, those guys would be, offered up in trades if anybody wants it. John Collins is also, I think, a bad contract as well, if I'm not mistaken, but they're not winning in Utah. So I don't think they'll be giving up anything anytime soon. But that is a good question. I have to look and see who is a bad contract on a winning team that they would be able to give up, or a prospective team that was supposed to be winning. I'd say look at Milwaukee, would probably be the one because they have not started out the season strong. That's probably where I'd look at first, but that's just off the top of my head, guys. But that's like some really good questions out there. Man, you guys are rocking it tonight. Bryanson, I'm hearing DFS's name. Yeah, he was a player that had a lot of promise. It has not gone well in the years since. I'm just going to say that. Right now, let's check out what he's averaging. Dorian Finney-Smith, right now, getting 19 points. He is what? He's averaging just under 11 points, 5 rebounds. He's only shooting 25% for 3, but that's, again, it's early, so I'm not going to take too much into that. Only 50% from the line, 38% overall from the field. He's struggling right now, but it is in Brooklyn. I mean, I think if he got into a better situation, he'd play a little bit better, but it's he and Dennis Schroeder really going to move the needle. The only thing I say, and I'll get back to you, worst GM, is when you make that trade and you give up one of those picks, because remember, the Lakers, if you're just giving one pick, if you're just giving one first-round pick, not the second-round picks, if you're just giving one first-round pick, it could be almost any year of the upcoming years. So you could essentially pick a year, whether it's 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. You could pick essentially one of those years, and that's fine. You'd have to probably just realize which one would be the one you most likely want to give up. But if that's the case, are those guys going to move the needle? Is a Dennis DFS trade going to move the needle in the right direction for the Lakers? Will that be enough to get them in the top 4 in the Western Conference? Because I think Joe said it best the other day. The Lakers should not make a trade or should be playing for the bottom 5, the bottom 6, 5th through 10th in the Western Conference. If they make a trade, it needs to be something that would get them and keep them at the top 4 in the Western Conference. Law Malcolm says, help LeBron out because he's a baby. He's going to get, he's in euphoria right now, Malcolm, because he's got Bronny there. But you're right. At some point in time, if the Lakers do not take a turn for the better, if they start struggling, mind you, they're 3-2 now, but if they start struggling, and it gets to the point like it was for a good portion of last season, yeah, you'll hear it. I'll hear it. We'll see the Hourglass tweets again. We'll see him wearing Knicks colored stuff and all the stuff that I get frustrated when I'm trying to even say anything remotely defending LeBron. That frustrates me. It makes me look bad when I try to defend LeBron. He'll start doing once again. Yeah, we'll see how much the father-son thing will keep him interested, as long as you have when it comes down to how much the Lakers are winning or how much the Lakers are, because he's gotten his coach there because he got his podcast buddy as the coach. He got his son on the team. Now, JJ has got a lot of good ideas. He's working hard, but there is going to be some bumps and roads because he is a rookie coach. But so far, the returns, let's put today out of proportion. Let's put today out of context. We'll put it to the side. So far, he's done a favorable job more than Darvin Ham does, in my opinion. So I would give him a step up from that. But he is a rookie coach, and we're going to have to go through the ups and downs with having a rookie coach there. So we'll see. Get Schroeder for a number 2 pick. Yeah, if you get it for a second round pick, I would take him back. Absolutely. Because he's playing well right now. He's averaging what, 25 and 10, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, he's doing a great job there. But it's on it's on one of the worst teams in the NBA. But still, you take that guy that has all that momentum. You can put him in the starting lineup ahead of D'Lo. I know D'Lo would go into super pout mode like he did last year when he went to the bench. If somebody was asking me down on playback, and I said, yeah, he'll definitely go into super pout mode if that's the case. BTS says 3-2 after 5 killer teams. Great. Yeah, it's still a positive sign, guys. Again, I would take a 3. We talked about it, Joe and I. We said that these first 2 games would be really tough. I still think the Memphis game is the swing game. I think they should go 2-0. They should beat Toronto. They should beat Detroit. Memphis is the one. If Ja's there, he's going to cause some problems because the Lakers have a hard time guarding quick guards. But if they get through it, they'll be 6-2 heading back home, and I'll take that any day of the week. Worst GM says, yo, John, can we trade LeBron and Bronny to the Warriors? Well, if you remember the rumors earlier, and I know you weren't with us at that time, but if you remember the story that was made around the trade deadline earlier this year, the Golden State did inquire about LeBron James, and he nixed that deal. So if that's the case, he obviously doesn't want to leave LA, and ultimately it will be up to LA to decide whether or not that it's going to be up to LeBron when he wants to retire, when he wants to leave LA, if he wants to leave LA, or when he wants to stop playing. It's all up to LA. Is just going to keep on catering to LeBron, and whether we like it or not, it's just going to be that's the way it is with Jeannie. Jeannie likes it. I told you guys a story about last year near the end of the year when he had a day off, and he was sitting there and he had Linda Rambus on one arm and he had Jeannie on the other. And that was a guy who has full control of his situation going forward. And unfortunately, that's, whether we like it or not, that's going to be the case. Yeah, Joe Soros here. Joe, congratulations, my friend, on the Dodgers winning. If you're alive, if you're conscious, if you're available, if you're somewhat sober, get on over here. I sent you the link already, my friend, so get on over here. Hopefully we could get you on to talk about the Dodgers. Would love to have you on. It is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. The Lakers do lose 134-110. If you're new to the channel, welcome. It is truly appreciated that you stopped on by. Again, I'm not trying to give the Bronny hate out there, but, the Bronny Love Fest, that pissed off Joe, it is what it is. He did score 2 points. Still a lot of work to do with him. I don't think at this time he's an NBA player. I really don't. I don't think he's I'll put it this way. I don't think he's an NBA player that can help you. But then again, the Lakers don't have a lot of NBA players off the bench that can help us at this point in time consistently, which is a very disappointing thing. This bench is even worse than what we thought it would be heading into the season. And we thought it was going to be bad, and it's very, very disappointing. But congratulations to the Dodgers. It is the Dodgers winning the World Series, and now they are the 2024 MLB champions. They are the Major League champions of the world. It is, of course, the Los Angeles Dodgers beating the Yankees 7-6 and winning 4-1. I'll be back starting tomorrow. Okay, yes, having a drink. All right, Joe, you have your drink, and I'll just go ahead and finish out the show from here. But once again, it is the Lakers fast break. Truly appreciate it. Yes, Xbox, can we get more Joe analysis, AI analysis, Gerald? That is always up to the AI. Yes, I know what you're talking about. I'll have to go back to Laker Nick is going to have to help me out on that one. Yes, I will get you guys more AI Joe in the future going forward. Yes, absolutely. Law Malcolm says Bronny is going to break the scoring record. They already did, Law Malcolm. You got to remember that he and LeBron are the all-time leaders as a father-son duo in the NBA, beating the Bryants and any other fathers, the Shays, any other NBA father-son duo that's out there. So, yeah, they already have the record with Bronny's 2 points today. I'm out, Gerald. Thanks for the show. I'll be back this Friday. I hope the Lakers win. Thank you for taking the time to stop by. Worst, truly appreciate it. Wishing you all the best. I will hopefully have someone here as a mouthpiece alongside of me. It's usually not just me, um, talking up a storm for an hour, but I thought and I promised I would give you guys a post game. And no matter how bad it got for the Lakers, I'm going to certainly do that. Uh, Tomorrow, yes, we'll have a show tomorrow. So definitely, I go ahead and I schedule it out there. If you subscribe, you'll be able to go ahead and find out because I do put it out there for my subscribers when our show is going on the air. So I will have at least an NBA observations show tomorrow, and I'll get you set up for Halloween. We got to have a show for Halloween. Maybe Joe will get up into his Rob Pelinka outfit once again. I know that was a lot of laughs the year that we did it, so maybe he'll do that once again. But then again, we'll also be back on the 1st as well for our full coverage of the Lakers and Toronto. That'll be available on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break, and of course the post and pregame right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Ox, as he says, Max Christie is not an NBA rotation player. He could sit on the bench at 15 in Charlotte. Yeah, it's just not happening right now. He just cannot give you what this team needs at this point. I really think him coming off the bench as a sixth man is one of JJ's larger mistakes, but there's quite a few things that the Lakers don't have going for them right now when you see what's going on with this bench. Again, Connect hasn't played well. He played well in garbage time, 18 points in garbage time, but we needed him earlier in the game to make some shots, and he didn't do it. And I've been very complimentary to the kid, and he is a rookie. But he's going to have to start producing for this team if this team is going to be able to finish off this road trip strong, because 8 points a game from the bench is just not going to cut it. That is absolutely not going to cut it. That's what they got the last game. 8 points. And leading up into the fourth quarter, that's essentially what they had again, was just about 8 points. And that's not going to get it done. The bench needs to give you more. It needs to give the frontline guys a little bit more breather. The guys cannot continuously play 36 to 38 minutes, 40 minutes each and every time out during the course of the season, because you obviously see, especially with LeBron at nearing 40 years old, that's not going to work long term. JSJ says Max is officially THD 2.0. Well, you see what happened. They called it wrong. THT just didn't materialize as a player. We lost Alex Caruso. THT is barely on the roster on the Chicago Bulls, and Alex Caruso is now playing a key role in Oklahoma City. We had some. If I was wrong on Scottie Pippen, but had they been more patient on Scottie Pippen, who knows? He could have developed into that type of player that he is now in Memphis. Jay Huff is somebody I wanted to keep instead of, let's say, like a Colin Castleton or someone else that you wanted as a big guy. Look at him. He just got a 4-year contract from Memphis as well. He's playing outstanding for that team. These are guys. Mo Wagner, as far as, could you've retained him? Could you've done something to retain him? And then, of course, we won't even talk about Zubats right now, because, again, I know that's a Magic deal, but Rob is in the room, and that Zubats deal is looking worse by the day with how well he's playing for the Clippers right now. Brian says Dalton Connect has to adjust the NBA schedule. Yeah, again, he's got to be able to produce sooner rather than later, and I think they need to make a change and put him first off the bench and see how it goes. If it doesn't work out, then bring someone else in. Maybe by that time, Vando will be your sixth man off the bench or whatever. Maybe Christian Wood, you want to give him some try. you give him some burn. Let's find out. But again, I think Max Christie as your sixth man is just not worked out. JSJ says it's been 5 games and Max hasn't impressed at all whatsoever. He is 21, so there may be more. There should be more, plenty of time for him to improve. But I can't wait for it. He's in his 3rd season already. He just signed a $32 million contract. He needs to produce for the Lakers at the contract money that's compensatory to what he signed for. And in doing so, and not doing so, he is sending a message to Lakers that they need to move into a different direction. Law Malcolm says Nate McMillan or Scotty Brooks would take over. I don't think they're getting rid of JJ this soon, Law Malcolm. I mean, they're on the books, for a 4-year contract, if I'm not mistaken. They already have to finish up Ham's contract, so I'm not sure they want to be real interested in paying for a 3rd coach, because I think Vogel's finally off the books. So, yeah, it's not, I don't think it'll be happening. Oxley47, Lakers are the farm team from Memphis right now. It apparently is, with the way that their players are playing real well. That didn't play well for the Lakers, that are playing real well for the Memphis Grizzlies right now. Rough Artist says Reddish had the best plus minus at 1. Bronny had the second best at -2. Yeah, that's how bad it was. Eric wants says, Memphis drafts Zach Edey. It's been a slow burn for Zach. He hasn't needed to get off to a great start because of what Jay Huff and the fact that they got Jaren Jackson Jr. back, Eric. So they haven't needed, Zach Edey to come out like gangbusters. I was talking, I was seeing Rafael Barlow, my friend who covers the NBA draft, on Twitter, and he had said that there's no one really from this draft that has shown out at all right now, and I agree with him. But that was reflective of this draft. This draft had a lot of question marks on it, and I think what we're seeing in this draft is reflective of what we're seeing out there, that none of these players, none of these rookies that we're seeing, outside of what we're seeing with Ryan Dunn in Phoenix, because that kid's been playing sensational. Other than that, there's not too many rookies that have been making a big imprint on the season so far, which is kind of disappointing to see. I'm hoping some of these kids pan out sooner rather than later. MY says it's time to call J.R. Smith. Isn't he playing golf for North Carolina or something? But I don't know. Maybe he's because I know he went back to school to play college golf, if I remember correctly, a couple years ago. Tuff said, was JJ trying to send a message to AD by not calling a timeout when he got hurt in the game today? You know what? If that's a message, that's not a good message to say, because Tuff, if you remember correctly, it was AD during the course of the playoffs that got tired of Ham's act, and the closing discussions that really stuck out were the ones made by AD, and I think that's the ones that tipped that broke the straw, so to speak, as far as the final comments that the organization had to take seriously were the comments by AD. So if he wants to piss off AD, that's not really good, because up until this game, AD was a MVP contender in the early going with his kind of numbers. Now, his numbers still look pretty damn good, but you've got to get him some help. LeBron playing well today. Yeah, and the other guys, the starting lineup right now has to play at an optimal level. And if they're not, the way this bad bench is for the Lakers, that's not good. If they're not playing all 5 of them at a great level, it's it's going to be hard for the Lakers to go ahead and win games. Tuff says, I agree, Gerald, with you 100%. Thank you, Tuff. I appreciate it. I'm just trying to put common sense stuff out there. I'm not trying to give you any shock stuff or Laker Tom stuff. I'm just trying to tell you how I see it. It's Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this thing. Unfortunately, it's a loss for the Lakers, 134-110. But Joe, who's celebrating now the Dodgers' victory, and myself did say 3-2 would be a successful road trip. Is what we thought it would be. If that's the case, they would come back 6-2. So I'm still hopeful for that. But we got to find out on Friday's game with the Toronto Raptors on the 1st. Tomorrow we'll be back for a show on Halloween. We'll be back for a Halloween show. Got to have a Halloween show for you guys. So yeah, definitely. What's the name? Screwdriver. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead. What's in a screwdriver? Let's go ahead and get. Let me get you the exact components, Xbox, for a screwdriver drink. There you go. Um, Smirnoff. So vodka and orange juice. Simple. Yeah, vodka and orange juice. There you go. So if you're into OJ and vodka, not that OJ, orange juice and vodka. There you go. But is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us again. I'll be back with an NBA observations tomorrow. Definitely looking forward to doing that. Reggie Joe, man, I saw OKC today. Hope I dress up as Phil Jackson. I don't think I have the right clothes. I think Joe will probably. I'm gonna ask Joe if he could pull out his Rob Pelinka costume again. That would be good. Yeah, trying to get to Gerald to read it. Vodka and orange juice. Yes. Yes, vodka and orange juice. Absolutely. Somebody's having a screwdriver right now. There you go. Celebrating the Dodgers victory. But it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Reggae, your OKC Thunder, they're playing real well. Uh, and I think that Cleveland and the Boston Celtics are right along there with you guys right now. They're yeah. I know Xbox. Obviously, you found it funny that I read it. Yes. Okay. Yes, indeed. Well, just trying to read your comments out there, trying to help you out. NBA, you know what the Lakers need? They need to go hard and them dudes. Salute. Okay. They do need to play harder. They do need to play with more effort. They do need to play with more, I guess, also as well, their defense was terrible at times. The transition defense was terrible. Their perimeter defense was terrible. Half court defense was terrible. Their zone sets were awful. They found themselves continuously with a guard underneath with a Mobley or an Allen. That's not going to get it done. And when they did, that didn't happen. They seemed to be able to go ahead. Garland was penetrating right and left on the Lakers. Whoever was guarding him he was blowing by and be able to dish it out to the 3-point line for some easy looks from three. So it was just basically a clinic from the get-go for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And that's something obviously JJ has to change sooner rather than later. All right. Yeah. Brian Green says Lakers need to ride out LeBron's contract for cap space. That's it. Yep. Write out LeBron's contract for cap space. I don't know, Brian. That's going to take, if he does another 1-1 at the end of the summer, or if he even picks up $50 million, his $50 million for the second year, or if he feels like it, he might add on another year because he wants to wait for Bryce. And God forbid the Lakers want to get Bryce to make him even happier so we can have both the sons there. Yeah, that's. Yeah, okay. It is what it is. But again, it is the Lakers 134 to 110. My favorite sub sandwich. I just had it actually. One of my favorites right now was Jersey Mike's. You can't go wrong with Jersey Mike's. I got a chicken bacon ranch. Yeah, I think that's is really solid. Although I go for the Kahlua chicken. There's several different variations. Roast beef and provolone. You can't go wrong with Jersey Mike's. Xbox Subway avocado. The only thing is Subway just got sued again because this time their sandwiches, they look so large in the commercials as far as packed with stuff, and then you go there and it's just like bread and maybe a slice of stuff, and then it's bread here in the States. They shortchange you here in the States at Subway from what I'm seeing. The Legend, what's up, my friend? I got to say, the Cleveland 2 looking like a real contender in the East. Yeah, they are, Cleveland, absolutely. More so than Knicks and 76ers at the moment. For various reasons, I can't agree with you more. Knicks are trying to integrate with that new lineup. 76ers trying to stay out of the hair of the NBA. Obviously, they can't. They got fined $100,000 because of Joel Embiid. Legend, hit me up and maybe we could do a show tomorrow. And I'll see if I could get Alfred now that his baseball season is over. I'll see if I can get you guys hooked up on an NBA conversations tomorrow as far as NBA observations. Our regular NBA show we like to do weekly. Hit me up on LakersFastBreak at yahoo.com and see what we can work out for tomorrow. Reagan Joe says I love Jersey Mike's. Yeah, I can't go wrong with Jersey Mike's. Danny DeVito, smart move, repping them. They do a great job there. They don't just give you something that looks like the bread and that's it. There's actually, they stuff it full of stuff, and I appreciate it. Law Malcolm says Jerry, Mike, tuna, and bacon. There you go. Good combo. Excellent, Malcolm. Yeah. As long as it's the Subway tuna that they also had a lawsuit over that was reportedly not made of tuna, that they were defending was tuna, which ultimately proved out not to be tuna. So there you go. As long as it's someone else's tuna sandwich from somewhere else. Porta Subs, I think, is also underrated as well. Rough Artist says, how come Carl's Jr.'s, MacD's, Jack in the Box don't get sued for false advertising? Now, that's a good question, Rough Artist, especially Mickey D's. Although Mickey D's is going to get a lawsuit coming from that E. coli outbreak, Rough Artist. I think you heard about it, how several got sick last week from the onions on a quarter pounder, I think. Yeah, and one person actually died, I think, of E. coli poisoning. Yeah, there's going to be a lawsuit or two from there, I think, coming up real soon on that one. Yeah, so I don't know. I just this food stuff keeps going through my news feed. I don't know how it always ends up doing like that, but in between the sports and pop culture stuff that I read through, every now and then I get this fast food info news stuff that kind of is like, okay, all right, whatever. Brian says Max should have stood out by now. I've been in this corner. Brian, and I don't want to fault you, man. I don't want to fault you. I know Rodell and I've been going back and forth because uh, I think Rodell pushed a button with us when he said the reason why we were preferring Dalton over Max was ethnically motivated. I think that was because he said that in a statement to us, and I think we were all appalled by it. And I don't know how John Costa, when he feels even stronger than I do about Max Christie, about him not being an NBA player, I don't know how Rodell can say stuff like that. So when Rodell said that, we were all taken aback. But if you've been in the corner of Max Christie and you saw the potential in Max Christie, I don't blame you for that. And obviously, that's what the kind of potential Rob saw in Max Christie. That's why they committed the 4 years, $32 million. I just don't know who they were bidding against. Because remember, he was a restricted free agent. So who was actually bidding against Max Christie to get that kind of number? So that's what I want to know, because he really didn't have much of a resume already leading into last year as a free agent to get that kind of contract. So that's what I was just concerned with. So now that he's signed that contract, you're now asking him to be a much better player than he has been the previous 2 years, plus also a much more consistent player than he has been the previous 2 years. That's that's the problem. Ruff says he can't defend Maxi Moore. I'm anti-Christie. Again, he's 21 years old, and he might develop into something. I don't want to give up entirely on him like some of the other guys have. I just don't think for the Lakers now, he is what you need to be a consistent player for you. Plus, they ask a lot of things that for him that he can't do. He cannot guard quick guards out on the perimeter, but there is no one on the team. Gabe Vincent is not that quick anymore. Obviously, the knee surgeries or his age or what have you. He's just not. No one that the Lakers have is able to guard those quick guards like Garland, like Morant, like Rob Dillingham. He's not even playing consistently for Minnesota yet. As we saw in the preseason, how much a quick guard it really gives the Lakers kind of havoc. Reggae Joe, hey Gerald, was curious if Magic Man's still with you. Thanks. Not at the present time, but I don't know. You never know. Things may change. Things may change. Magic Man decided to leave us a few months back. He decided to go away and take care of some things in his life. We wish him all the best. I've got nothing but love for him, but you never know. He may come back at some point in time. He always seems to. So, I mean, it's almost like you could set your watch to it. I said the other day with Joe, when it comes to Magic Man, he always gets mad every 2 or 3 months. It's something, one of us says or something somebody in the chat says. It bothers him greatly. He needs time off. He takes time off. And so I'm wishing all the best for him. And I just want him to succeed in life. And I'm hoping he will come back to being a good person. Whether he comes back to the show, you never know. You never know. Again, I'm not going to leave anything out of the equation because I know you guys have been asking for him. You do like his insight. You do like his analysis. And you do like his history of the NBA. And I can always appreciate that. So, MB says, I swear the fans are the real problem about this franchise. Some are impatient, some are delusions. Just saying. Well, MB, I will say this. We're all, Joe and I and the entire team of guys that you see here on the show, we all are, it's the expectation. When you win 17 world championships, it's that expectation you have. For instance, in Boston, they now won 18. That's all their expectation is going forward for the next decade is going to be, we're going to win a world championship and nothing else is good enough. Right now for the Lakers at 17, we're seeing Boston now one ahead of us and now with an opportunity to win another. So it is very discouraging, to see that happen. So as a fan, you sometimes have these unrealistic goals in place. And again, is it because maybe we're a little bit spoiled? Let's call this out like it is. Sometimes we as Laker fans kind of do act that way. But again, it comes off of when you win 17 world championships. When you win 17 times, you get used to being at the top of the mountain. Reggae says, anyone have a favorite for Rookie of the Year yet? Yeah, that's a good question, Reggae. Right now, as I was saying earlier, I was talking about what my good friend Rafael Barlow from the NBA's Locked On Draft NBA podcast. Yeah, he said no one has really stood out consistently as of yet. No one has stood out. It's anybody's race right now. Let's just take Dalton Connect for just an example, Reggae. If he went on a heater for 2 weeks, just 2 weeks, he would be the front runner in the Rookie of the Year. That's how tenuous it is right now. Zach Edey hasn't looked great yet, but then again, it's a rookie. You're asking him to start. He's beginning into foul trouble lately, and they haven't really been needing him with Jay Huff coming in and providing a lot. Aldama as well. He's been playing great off the bench. It's so helpful when you have a good bench because you can let the kid develop, Zach Edey, the way he needs to develop, and that's going to be with some ups and downs. And you just throw him out there and see what sticks. But when you have a deep bench or deeper bench than what the Lakers have, like they have in Memphis, you can afford to do those things. But yeah, there is no one that's sticking out right now at Rookie of the Year. I think if they get rid of Ayton in Portland, you could see Klingon getting some major time, because what do they have to play for? They're going to be playing for a top spot in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. So there you go. A rough artist says Bronny is LeBron's Rookie of the Year. Yeah. Yep. There you go. Brian says, agreed. Everyone loves the AD trade, though. Brian, it's this way. And Bay, I'll put it like this. If you guys would go back in time, ask yourselves, and you were given the choice, hey, we're going to make this trade for all these draft picks, all these players that were part of the Lakers' future, but we're going to get one world championship out of it. Would you do it? I would, because I want the world title. I want the guarantee that I got a world title, and we did. So, again, we have to live with it. It's the AD trade. It is what it is. But, yeah, you got the world championship out of it. Who knows when you get, or when any team gets a hold of a world championship level team that again. So, we'll see. It's just the fact that this team around LeBron and AD, as they've gotten older, this team hasn't gotten better outside of one period of time where they gelled after a trade deadline. But yeah, that's proven out that's not been those trades that Rob made at that one trade deadline or in that area, starting with Rui Hachimura and moving on to Vanderbilt, D'Lo, and the whole 9 yards. That has proven to get you somewhere, but obviously it didn't get it wasn't enough to get the Lakers, or it's not looking like it's not going to get the Lakers where they need to be at this point in time, and that's a shame. But again, if the Lakers come back 6-2, I'm going to say that's a win. I'm going to say that's a success. Because remember, I didn't think the Lakers were going to get off to a super great start with a rookie coach, but if they get off to, let's say, after 10 games, 7-3, I think that's a big win. I think that's a huge win for the Lakers if they come out of the first 10 games at 7-3. And after 20 games, let's say if they're 14-6, I think that's a big win for the Lakers if that's the case that happens. So my expectations were low. I'm not going to sit here and BS or change my history You guys all saw that. I went on this show, on the season preview show, and I picked the Lakers for 9th place in the Western Conference. I'm not going to deviate from that. I'm going to tell you like the way I saw it. So I'm going to call myself out, and I'm hoping I'm wrong on that. I'm hoping every day that I'm going to be wrong on that the Lakers will finish at a higher level coming up at the. I'm hoping they'll be in the top 4 in the Western Conference. That's always the. I'm hoping I'm wrong, because if I'm wrong, and it's for the good, that means the Lakers are having a pretty darn good season. So that's what I'm hoping for. But again, seeing and evaluating the talent, we knew the bench was going to be an issue. Did we think it was going to be this bad? We said the Lakers coming in were one of the worst benches in the league, and we were hoping Dalton Connect could be a quick fix, and he's a rookie. So obviously there's that period of time where he needs to adjust. And maybe this 18 points in the fourth quarter will give him the boost he needs and the confidence he needs. But it's up to JJ to put him in a position to succeed. And I think it has to start on Friday in Toronto. Brian Green says, how often do you get 5 consecutive lottery picks in a major market? That's true. That's a good point. How often? I mean, in major markets, usually you're not afforded that leeway to go continuously be bad. It's usually a lot of pressure to get a winning team. So, yeah, I would probably say, again, I would take that AD trade 10 times out of 10. But if you feel otherwise, I respect your opinion on that. But I will take the world title. Lakers abandon players quickly. Alan, you're right. I am wholeheartedly behind you on that one. As we see with Zubats, as we see with Mo Wagner, as we see with Jay Huff, as we see with Scottie Pippen Jr. And I'm sure there are more examples out there in the league that the Lakers have given up on. Thomas Bryant, to an extent, he was actually a contributor at one time. Now he's barely holding on to a roster spot in Miami. But yeah, there's other players in the league that the Lakers could have held on to that could have made it out to be so much better of a bench right now, but they chose not to, and we're feeling the effects of it right now. NB says, bet you all be begging the Lakers to get Christie back when they trade him and when he develops somewhere else. NB, I just said again, I'll say it again. I don't think he's not an NBA player like Joe, like Stone, like John Costa. I do think because remember, I'm not putting in consideration the fact that he is 21. I think he will be a rotation player. My exact words were, I do think he'll be a rotation player at some point in time in his career. I just don't think it'll be for the Lakers because he'll do exactly what you're saying. Somehow he'll be traded or find himself on another team, and he'll be like a 7th or an 8th guy that's consistent for them, getting 10 points a game somewhere else on some other team. That's probably what usually that's the MO for the Lakers, because like you said, they like Alan said, they don't have the patience to ride things out. And I'm not saying trade Christie. I'm not saying send him to the G League. I'm saying just at this point in time, give Connect the chance, the opportunity to be the first guy off the bench. To go ahead and give the Lakers a shot, because what you're doing right now off the bench is not working. Reggae Joe, thank you for the super chat. Truly appreciate it. Thank you for the $2 donation. Always appreciated right here at the Lakers Fast Break. It is Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for watching this thing. Joe is in the midst of celebrating the Dodgers victory. Big shout out to all Dodgers fans out there as the Dodgers do win 7-6 to win the series, 4-1. It is Gerald Glassford. I told you I would do a post game, and normally we have it right after the game, but I thought I would hold off because of what was going on with the Dodgers, but I'm glad to be doing it right now. Kayla, how you doing? Kayla was gifted a membership by Reggae Joe. Thank you for the kindness. Truly appreciate that, Reggae Joe. You are now a member of the Lakers Fast Break. You get emojis, badges, you get special insights. There's polls I run specifically for our members I started doing. I've put reviews, I put articles, and I hope to eventually put videos down there for our members. So if you just want to go ahead and become a member, or you are a member, it's $2.99 a month. Truly appreciate you doing it, and truly glad that you're helping us out right here at the Lakers Fast Break. And it does help us out here, all of us at the Lakers Fast Break. We're in the midst of trying to go ahead and become in that upper echelon, that other upper pantheon. Now on audio podcasts, we are already one of the top 10 Lakers podcasts on FeedSpot. So hopefully the YouTube and the Facebook audience out there, big shout out to everyone on Facebook. Truly appreciate you watching and listening. You hopefully be able to go ahead and follow us on Facebook there and on Twitch as well. So, yes. Truly appreciate it. Once again, it is the Lakers losing 134 to 110. Again, big shout out to all the new members, new subscribers, everybody who stopped on by, all the new faces, to all the returning faces. I'm so happy that you came by. I'm looking to do an NBA observations. I will see if Legend, Alfred, or Joe are able to stop on by to talk the NBA. And yes, we will talk more Lakers because there'll be 2 games in already, as they are already on the road trip. We'll plan ahead for the rest of the 3-game road trip. Toronto, and then Detroit. Hoping to hear from L. Rob. I don't know if he's going to the game in Detroit. I'll have to ask L. Rob if he's going to the game in Detroit. If not, hoping he can stop by. And then you never know who else might show up, but I definitely want to go ahead and let you know that we are doing our best, our very best to go ahead and provide you the best in insight and entertainment each and every day. As always, Alan said, to me personally, the move involving Braun is the worst we look. Yes. Yes. There's many fingers I can point. There's many places I can point to, Alan. I know you and I've gone back and over again. We've agreed on many things. We've disagreed on others. But yes, you and I both want the best for the Lakers because right now, this bench, it's not looking so good. So, all right. Thanks again for joining us. Truly appreciate you being a part of what we do here. Tomorrow, we'll come back at you again with an NBA observations. Looking forward to bringing you the rest of the week, all the good stuff we do. What's my email? I'd love to get a chance. Oh, yeah, Reggae, absolutely. Would love to have you stop on by. I say it like 15 million times, but I say it so fast. I know that's, yeah, LakersFastBreak at yahoo.com, man. Always. I'd love to have you stop on by, man. That would be awesome. I'd be honored. Reggae, you've been a great part of what we do. You come in, out. I know you're an OKC fan. I don't care. I love to have good basketball conversations, whether it's Lakers fans or not. I love having really good conversations on the league, getting our audience up to speed on what's going on around the league, because I do study the league. I do follow what's going on around the NBA, and I would love to have you part of it. But again, let's spotlight the 95 Lakers. I may, I'll tell you what, Brian, I'll think about bringing back, I think I might be hearing Lakers Fast Break University. Might be the halls of Lakers Fast Break University might be opening up in the not too distant future. Yeah, absolutely. But yes, would love to have you on, Reggae Joe. Maybe even doing in the not too distant future Lakers Fast Break University, a Lakers History 101. Looking forward to bringing you more great shows, including the best post game that's out there right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.